Hello, and thank you for stopping over to my YouTube channel. My name is Courtney, or you can call me Coco. I do videos usually on fashion, travel, lifestyle type of things. Today's video, you saw the title, we're going to be talking about New York Fashion Week, specifically how to get invited as a small creator, and then even before that, how to send an email, like a pitch email, to get an invitation, and what should be in the email, how to find the contacts, etc. So we're just going to dive right on into it because I have a lot to say about this, and I don't want this video to be too long, but I do want it to be helpful. But of course, at the beginning of every video, I show you what I'm wearing. This is just a crop top from H&M. It's probably like on sale for next to nothing right now. Head wrap, I used to sell these. And then you know I have a jewelry business, CocoMadeWithLove.com. And these are my gold fill Nefertiti hoops. And this is my triple threat necklace. So I just threw these on just because the purple kind of goes with the head wrap, which right now I'm covering my twist for my twist out later because I'm going out as soon as I'm done with this video, running out the door, but I'm going to change. But yeah, gold fill jewelry, CocoMadeWithLove.com. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get on into these tips because let's face it, New York Fashion Week, it's not always the easiest to get invited to events, fashion shows, etc. But I've been attending New York Fashion Week for many years now, both seasons in September and in February. So I figured when I was trying to learn, I had to do a lot of just like looking for myself, making mistakes, waiting for the next season to try again. So I just want to make it easier for some of you who are looking to join, especially if you're going to be coming from out of town. I will be looking at my phone because yesterday I just jotted down a few things because I didn't want to forget to mention some things in this video. But I'm rambling. Let's get started. So I wanted to do a bunch of videos, but for the sake of time, I'm going to just do this one and you let me know in the comments what else you want to know. So we're going to focus today on, as a small creator, how to score the invitations and crafting the perfect pitch emails, etc., and who to email. So let's talk about how to get invited, and I'm going to be sharing my personal stories. Alright, so let's get on into how to get invited. Tip number one, which is important, and I didn't realize that until like the third time I started going to Fashion Week: start early. So if you're watching this video, the time to start pitching emails probably was about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. But it's not too late because, truth be told, I'm usually running late because it's a very busy time for me for some reason. So I end up sending pitch emails a little bit later than recommended, but I still get invited to certain shows. So if you see this video today, start pitching to New York Fashion Week, and if a lot of time has passed since this video, save these tips for next time. So I say start pitching, I say the sweet spot is 4 to 6 weeks before New York Fashion Week. I don't know how it works for the other major cities, but I'm talking about New York Fashion Week because that's the one I attend. Because number one, it's a small creator. It's not like they are going out looking for you, so you need to put yourself in front of as many people as possible. That's going to be another tip soon. And early, before they start filling seats with other people who they already invite. And I don't know why, but 4 to 6 weeks seems to be the sweet spot. I typically start sending emails between 2 to 4 weeks just because my schedule will be crazy. But that's what I recommend. So that's number one, start early. And then 2, leverage social media. So by leveraging social media, do you follow other fashion loving people, people who either have attended Fashion Week or want to attend Fashion Week? Join a group with them, collab with them, talk to them, you know, share resources with them. A lot of the opportunities in the last few years, because I used to do this just by myself, and when I go out there, I'll meet people or meet people I've met online. But for the most part, I was just out there just by myself, missing opportunities left and right because I didn't know. The last few years, I've been making connections with people on social media, or I'll meet them outside in the street during Fashion Week, and then we connect on social media, keep in touch for the next season. And that has really helped me because it's easy for them to, like, let's say there's some brands who will share like an upcoming Fashion Week event or show. They make a flyer, post it to the social media. I probably don't follow them, so I don't know. And then these people would send me the flyers and the contact information, and I'll do the same for them. So that way we are increasing our chances of getting invited to somewhere and just knowing about things without missing out. So yeah, I would also, by leveraging social media, I would look at relevant tags. So if people are posting about upcoming New York Fashion Week events, maybe start searching hashtags around that, just to see what pops up and see what people are talking about. Let's see, what else? So I just want to skip through some of these tips because some of them are more important than others. And what I'm going to hopefully do to in this video is share some cutaways of when I actually did it. Examples, I just got to dig back in my vault of old videos. Networking can collaborate. This is similar to the last one. Networking and collaborating has really helped me in the last few seasons, because I don't know if it's just me, but every year it seems to be harder and harder to get invitations to fashion shows and events. I don't know if there's just more people coming, more people are interested in Fashion Week, so they now have to be more selective with who they invite. I don't know, but I have been starting to be accepted into less shows the more I've advanced in my fashion creator business. So I'm like, that's a little backwards. But what I have been doing is networking, collaborating with other people who are like myself, so they're small or medium, well, small for me, and other medium creators, and we just share resources. If somebody can't go to an event, they might put you on and let you take their ticket or bring you along as a +1. Tell you about things that you had no idea about. And basically, when you collaborate and network with people, you're sharing minds, you're sharing ideas, resources, time, because it takes time sometimes to find these people and events. So you guys get to work together. And honestly too, let's say for whatever reason you pitched yourself and you didn't get any acceptances to any shows. Because you network and collaborate, there's other things you could do during New York Fashion Week that's still fun and worth your time and energy, all because you network with people and now you have other people to meet up with, hang out with, and do things with. But I get into that later on in the video. I also research brands and their PR agencies. After you search for New York Fashion Week for a while, you start realizing there's certain brand agencies that represent brands, different designers, that repeat each year. Like, you'll see their information more. So I'd say, like, start a running list. I don't know if you are an analog person, you like to write out your list or put it on a spreadsheet on the computer, but try to keep track of, like, this PR person talked about this brand in this show, and I know they're on the New York Fashion Week calendar. So then you then know to then in a few months circle back and maybe reach out to them. And that's another thing. Right now, the calendar for New York Fashion Week is out, so on there, they'll break down each day. I'll leave it in my description box, but you can also Google it, and they'll show you the date and time each fashion show that is a part of the official New York Fashion Week lineup on there. So from there, this is great. I feel like the first year I may not have really paid attention to this list, so I was sending out emails to people who weren't even doing shows this season. They did shows previous seasons, and that was just a waste of my time and effort. So definitely look to that list, see who you would like to see as a show, and also remember some of these higher, like, name brands. It's a long shot, still try it, but don't forget to aim for, like, some of the brands that are smaller, because you're more likely to get an invitation to those. So that way you're not doing double work for no reason, reaching out to a brand who's not even showing this season, but they've showed all the previous ones. So definitely check the New York Fashion Week lineup and use that as your guide to start looking for email addresses and sending out emails and following up, because some people may not respond, but maybe in a week follow up. Let's see, you know, the regular, be professional. You can showcase if you are a smaller creator and you want to show, because I guess we get to that in that part of the video, talking about how to craft these emails, but excuse me, sometimes I like to show, like, previous times I may have covered, so even if it wasn't Fashion Week but another fashion related event, kind of show how your coverage of it and what you bring to the table, like how you plan to expose your audience to their brand and why they should invite you in the first place. Because let's face it, there's only a limited amount of seats. We're bringing you why. Who you gonna tell? How you gonna tell them? That matters. And stay true to your niche. So, like, you know, let's say you're into, I don't know, more so cocktails, parties, other things, but not really a fashion person. Maybe you don't want to go to all the fashion shows, but there's a lot of other Fashion Week events you might be more suited for, and, you know, you might be able to share with your audience, maybe alcohol brands who are hosting certain events, or, you know, things like that. So look for other opportunities that definitely fit within your niche. So those are just some of the tips to, like, how to get invited. Let me think back, because now that was like my little list of things to mention. let me think back into my history of other things that I have done, and then right after that we're going to jump into how to write these emails, what should be in the emails, how to find these people, because it's hard to find the contacts. I'm still learning that part. Some things that were helpful for me sometimes. Okay, so this is what I like to do. Hopefully you're still here with me in this part of the video and I'm not talking too fast. So before, let's say I got invited to like one show, but you know, Fashion Week is like about a week long. I would still get dressed up, get my cute outfit, go to where most of the main shows are, because that's where there'll be a lot of photographers taking street style pictures, which is definitely a big part of Fashion Week. The fashion shows, of course, are important, but that street style from the photographers and Getty Images photographers be out there, that can really help catapult your like fashion and style career. Because let's say there's a bunch of Getty Image photographers, other photographers that publish 2 magazines, and digital and online, digital and, you know, paper magazines. You just happen to catch their eye, and once 1 or 2 photographers take your pictures, the other ones catch on like, oh, I should be taking that picture too. And then next thing you know, your pictures could be anywhere. You could be featured like in Vogue, like some of the best street style New York Fashion Week of 2023. Like, you never know. So definitely, even if you realize, okay, the week has come and I have no invitations, still go out there. That's what I've learned. Still go out there, still participate. That's how, one, you meet people who are going to Fashion Week, and then they can help bring you along if they have a +1. One thing that happened to me, I had like one fashion show for the day, you know, milking it. I was sitting around there. I was like, all right, I probably should grab a bite to eat and go home because there's nothing left for me to do here. I met a girl who we still follow each other now. This was many years ago, way like pre-pandemic. Raven, and she's a stylist and a creator, a fashion creator. Long story short, we were eating at a pizza shop. I was like, yeah, I just went to Fashion Week, you know, I only had one show today, I'm new to Fashion Week, blah, blah, blah. She's a stylist. She's been creating content around fashion and things like that for a long time. So she's like, yeah, this is like my 6th show of the day. I'm exhausted. I want to go home. I'm tired. Hey, I have this ticket to the show that starts in about 15 minutes. You know, don't tell nobody I said this. This is just like a tip that worked for me. You could try it if you want, it's not guaranteed. But she was like, pretend to be me. Like, they don't check IDs. You know, my name is first and last name. This is my name. I forward you the email that has the barcode, like the invitation, so they want to scan it. Don't take a screenshot, but actually have an email with the information. And she was like, yeah, just pretend like you're me. Nobody's going to check. Nobody's going to ask. Like, you literally just walk in, whether you have a seat or not. I don't even remember if she had a seat. And I'm so thankful, because I was ready to go home. I was feeling a little defeated, like, man, I came all this way, I dressed up. None of the photographers really cared to take a picture of my outfit, which happens. It's okay, don't get discouraged. I was like, I had my one show, let me just go home. And just because I sat there and just talked to somebody who seemed nice, you could tell she was also coming from Fashion Week, now I was at another show. And I think that show might have even had a gift bag. So I was like, and I got to get into a show that I wasn't invited to, and I got a little gift bag to go home. That was a good day. So then from there I learned, still show up. Even if I have no shows coming up, no events, still go, because guess what? There's going to be other people just like you out there, or people who could bring a +1 or know of something that you don't need to RSVP to, and I could tag along. Matter of fact, that happened last season's Fashion Week. A friend and I, we were going to an event. And yes, we RSVP, but I think it was like a rolling RSVP thing, so you could still do it. We ran into some girls. They were pretty much done for the day. They were from out of town. They didn't know what else was going on. We were talking, chatting it up, taking pictures of each other, for each other. So we were like, just come with us. And then they ended up coming to the event, had a great time. From that event, they made connections with other people, went to other events for Fashion Week. We ended up speaking to one of the sponsors, and they were like, yeah, we actually have some cars. We drive you to your different Fashion Week events. So then we went into the car. They had like Teslas wrapped in whatever promo they were doing. So we got free rides, we had free drinks, we had a good time, and then met up with other people who told us about other events that we didn't know about. And then that we just became like a small group, grew and grew and grew. As each staff, we just network and talk to people and bring them along with us. So honestly, and I still talk to some of them now on social media, and I plan to meet up with them again during this season's Fashion Week. So long story short, get out there, network. Even if you don't have any shows under your belt, if you don't have any events, you never really know who and what you will run into. So I think I've been doing a lot of rambling. I'm so sorry if this video is all over the place. I'm also trying to do this before I miss my train. So let's get into the emails, because that's really important. I definitely want to talk about crafting the emails. So what I like to do, what has, I guess, worked for me. Well, number one, it's a numbers game. That's the one thing you got to remember. Let me go back to my other list. YouTube. Information. While I look for this list, it is a numbers game. So don't think you're going to email 10 people and just hope that one of them gives you an invitation. I want to see you email at least like 30 for the week. And I'm not even playing. It's a numbers game, especially when you're a small creator. Not a lot of people know who you are, especially in the PR and fashion brand world. Like, numbers are your friends. Come on, where's this list? Here it is. So that's number one. So I like to, like, if I have time, make a spreadsheet of who I want to contact, and then go look for the emails, which we're going to get to in a second, their contact information. And then when I contacted them, if the email bounced back, because that happens sometimes, people change email addresses, and then try again or follow up. So people who do not respond, or respond saying they will follow up. If they don't, follow up for them. So that's number one. It's a numbers game. So some places to look for the, oh yeah, let's get to the body of the emails. I like to keep it short and sweet, because long story short, these people are getting probably hundreds of requests a day. So I like to think about, one, what's going to help my email stand out, and two, what's going to make sure they don't open it and be like, oh heck no, and click away. The two things: one, make sure your subject makes sense, is short, and it tells them exactly what you want. Let's say the show is called Advisory, the Advisory fashion show. So what I like to put in my subject line is NYFW, New York Fashion Week Advisory Show. Oh, why am I blanking? It's because I'm usually typing it, so just thinking about it. Let me think. New York Fashion Week Advisory Show, either RSVP or requests, or New York Fashion Week times like the X Advisory Show. Something along those lines, so they know, one, your email's about New York Fashion Week, exactly what show, because you never know, you might be emailing a PR person who is representing multiple brands. So you got to, they need to know what you're talking about before they click on your email, where it's going to the trash. And I like to put the year, so I'll put like spring summer 22 or autumn winter 21, just so to make sure, just in case there's any confusion in their inbox, they know this is a relevant email about now. This is the event that I'm talking about. And then in the body, I always start with something pleasant, like, hi so-and-so. It's great if you could get their name, but if not, I'll say, let's say the agency representing the Advisory fashion show is the Canon PR group. So if I don't have a contact name, I'll say, hi Canon PR group members or team. I hope all is well. Or let's say it's getting closer to Fashion Week. I hope your Fashion Week, your Fashion Week prep is going well and not too stressful. Something that's like a one sentence, but that is pleasant and cheerful, so I'm not just out the gate, hi, I want this, hi, how are you type of thing, but, make it personable. So that's the first line, and then I skip a space, and then I get to the paragraph, and I'm like, my name is Courtney, fashion, so I'm just going off the top of my head, but I'm a fashion lifestyle creator on YouTube and Instagram, and I'd love to feature Advisory on, yeah, that's the name of the show, Advisory for New York Fashion Week this season. I really love the pieces, and I have an audience. I have a very engaged audience of fashion-loving working women who I think would love to learn about some of your new pieces in your upcoming season. Maybe one or two blurbs after that, or if it's a brand, a company that you actually wear and you love, you could probably mention that, but not too much where you're like, oh my gosh, I love your brand, I want to come. Not like that, but like, hey, this is what I like about you. Hey, I love the streetwear and the edgy element. I feel like that really aligns with the fashion I typically share. And then you let them know, like, I plan to share it with my audience over on YouTube and on Instagram, as I know they would love something like this. Whatever, freestyle it. And then, you know, thank you for your time. I hope to hear from you soon. And then your name. And then I always hyperlink or add a link, as long as it's a link to your social media channels that you'll be sharing them on, and any other information that you want them to see. Let's say you wanted to show them a portfolio of, I don't know, hey, I've covered a similar show, and I did this, you know, New York Fashion Week haul, and New York Fashion Week vlog, and it was a great success. Here's a link to it. Always make a link. Don't write, oh, my Instagram is at Pretty K. They're not about to go copy and paste and look for you. If they can't just quickly either see it in a picture that's in your email or click on a link, they're not gonna do it. Because number one, you're giving them more work. Two, they get a whole bunch of emails a day. You gotta make it as easy as possible. Keep the email short. Like, it's so hard to do my little one-liner. Sometimes I have like 2 mini paragraphs, because I find you break up paragraphs instead of one long one. It's a lot easier. I guess because I have like a science background, and you know, when you have to write things, I kind of structure it like that, where they're not just long running paragraphs. Here's one mini paragraph for this point, mini paragraph for this point, closing, conclusion, or the summary, or whatever, and then sign off. People not trying to read a novel, because I know I wouldn't be. So you make it easy, and also people who skim emails, it becomes really easy to find your point in each little paragraph. Let's say this paragraph is only 5 sentences, the next one's 4 sentences. I can easily, quickly scan, see what you want, why this will work for us or not, and then put you on a list. So you're going to do that times like 40. You're going to write emails. You're not going to hear back from them right away. A lot of times you're going to hear back from them either the week leading up to Fashion Week, or even during Fashion Week. Let's say Fashion Week starts Wednesday to Wednesday. There's a show that's happening the following Monday. So like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, you might hear about a response from that show the Saturday before. So Fashion Week is already in full swing, and you're just getting hearing back. So always check your emails. Don't lose hope if you don't hear from them right before Fashion Week. There's still a chance you will hear from them. So now to get into, let me know if I'm talking too much or if I need to break this up. Okay, let me look at my timestamp. Okay, I'm about 20 minutes in. All right, so let's talk about how to find these people's email addresses. This is going to be tricky. Let's see, did I write down any tips about it? Okay. First things first, again, go to that New York Fashion Week list of the shows that's happening, the time and the days. Some of them you could click on, especially as the days gets closer. I find there's more and more links. Click on them, see if there's any information. It's not likely, but once in a while they will have a contact information. So that's an easy one right there, if it's even there. If you can't, all right, cool. You see who is who's showing for that day. You can start with the simple Google, you know, go to their website, go to their contact me page, and see if there's an email that's like media@company.com, PR@company.com, something like that. And even though those are generic, and I don't always like to use those, I feel like I have heard back from some of those. So that's like one way to like start. And then you want to dig deeper. I like to find somebody, like a person I can contact, but that's not always easy. I will go to LinkedIn. And then of course from there, then I just going to give you their email address for the company, but you can maybe see who is the person who is in charge of, you know, either social media or the PR for Fashion Week, whatever. Whoever looks like that would be, that fall into their job description. Note who they are, and then go back to either the website or do a Google search about the company, the brand, and sometimes you'll find email addresses or like email address format for something else. So let's say, I don't know, you end up stumbling across an easier email to find, like I don't know, their HR head person, Sarah Millen at company.com. So you see that's the format of their emails. You be like, so they use the HR person's first name and the dot, so first name, dot, and the first 6 letters of their last name at company.com. So then you can kind of like, you know, get creative and like, okay, well, that's Sarah in HR. I'm looking for Dana Hathaway. and the PR team. So you're going to put Dana dot and then the first 6 letters of Hathaway at company.com, because you're following the same format that you see other email addresses for the company that might even be on the website is for. And then that's how you can shoot your shot there, and then always address them by first name if you can. And what I find sometimes, let's say you email a person and it's not quite the contact person, they might forward it then within their office to who it's supposed to go to. But at least now you don't have one of those catch-all emails that's like, oh, media at company.com, but you actually landed in somebody's inbox. So that's one way to do it. So, you know, that takes a little bit more time and research and digging. That's why you need that spreadsheet to help keep you organized, and that's why you need those networking connections, because you and your friend that you're going to meet up with for Fashion Week, you're going to split that list in half. So she's going to look for the contacts for the first half, you're looking for the contacts for the second half, but you both are emailing the whole list. You see what I'm saying? See how it works? Another way you can find some contact information, if it's not on their website, and if you couldn't do that whole thing that I just told you, go look for press releases. So a lot of these brands, before they launch a new season collection or whatever it is they're doing, their PR teams or whoever do press releases. Sometimes, not all the time, but a good amount of times, if you go to the bottom of the, or somewhere, yeah, usually at the bottom of these press releases, they would have the contact information or media for like people who have media inquiries. Hey, contact this person if you have, yeah, basically like, oh, if you have any media inquiries relating to whatever the article was about, contact Sarah Millen or whatever name I just made up. And then right there would be their name and their email address, and it's like, boom. I couldn't find it on the website, but they did a press release with whatever digital magazine, and here is a contact person. So you do that, you search the internet for those things. It might be a little hard, time consuming, but again, you and your friend, you guys are splitting up this list, so get that done. So we talked about LinkedIn, a website, press releases. There's some, I feel like there's some websites where you could pay to get email addresses, like a certain amount for the day. I remember there used to be a website I used to go to, I can't even remember it anymore, I wish I could find it, where you can do 5 searches a day. So you can look up a company and they would give you, not all the time accurate, but sometimes it is, the contact information for somebody in a company. But you can only do 5 searches in a 24-hour span. So then you can only do like 5. And then you come back the next day and get your 5 renewed. They sometimes will bounce back. They're not always good emails, but some of them are. Or they might land on the desk of somebody who used to be in that position. They have moved in the company, so they'll forward it to somebody, the correct person. So that's another way to do it. Look for industry directories and databases online, or PR. That's another thing. A lot of these brands are represented by PR agencies. So maybe if you can think of find some PR agencies that typically represent fashion houses and see who they represent, and then like, okay, well, they say they represent the advisory brand, clothing brand. Who is the contact for this PR person? You might not get the right person, but they might forward it to their colleague. Yeah, so that's another way to do it. Another way, it goes back to the whole networking, mingling, you know, finding your people either in person and online. What you could do is you could share resources. So what I mean by that, let's say you do happen to find, like, you've been working all week, you can only find 3 email addresses, and you're just stuck at a standstill. You can't find any more contact information other than the regular, like, PR@company.com. You're getting frustrated. You hit up some people online who you guys talk about fashion stuff and express interest in Fashion Week. Send them a DM. Hey girl, I know you're talking about going to Fashion Week too. I'm having a hard time finding some email addresses. I saw you went to Fashion Week in the past. Do you mind sharing your contact for XYZ brand? I have a few contacts myself. So here's what I found for this, and that brand. I'm emailing them to get invited to their show. You should email them too. Let me know. Thank you so much for this contact. So now you went from 3 to 6. Do that again with somebody else. Share, but the key here is don't just, because people used to do this to me and that used to annoy me. They would never talk to me, never engage with me, barely like anything, but then when they want something, hi, I want to go, what's this person's contact? What's it? You know how many hours I just put in to find this person's contact? You don't even engage with them. I'm not saying everybody has to, but like, you never did anything for me, even showed that you even see me on social media, but you slid in my DMs like, hi, give me this. Not even a, hey, how you doing, girl? I love what you're doing. Can you help me? Hi, I want this. I was looking, I can't find it. No. No. So don't be that bro. Don't be that girl or man. Don't be that person. I mean, unless you really like, damn, I really can't find nothing, then you can, maybe somebody who you communicate with or, you know, at least nice to, might share. But that's what I like to share resources. So like, hey, I can't find this and this and that, but I have this one. And now that you have 6, you can go reach to another person. Hey, you know, I've been having a hard time finding contacts, but I have a list of like 6 so far. People who are definitely showing. I don't know if it's the right email address, but you know, it's worth a shot. I've emailed them. Did you find any? Yeah, girl, I found these 7. And then you guys share, and now y'all both have 13. You see? So, and that really helps. And then as you do that, especially if you start contacting some of these PR, that's another thing. Okay, this video is getting long, but these PR companies, they represent multiple brands. And they also have co-workers who represent other brands. So what I noticed that helped me out earlier on is that I didn't know really what show I was pitching myself to, but some of them were PR agencies. And then closer to Fashion Week, like literally like a day or 2 before, I started getting invitations, a bunch of invitations to shows I never heard of. That's how it usually is. It's usually shows that I've never even applied to like, you know, emailed and reached out about, who end up inviting me, because what it is these are people in PR and their job is to fill these seats, you know, spread the word to fashion creators, who's going to spread the word for them for free because, you know, whatever. And I get invited to shows that I've never even heard about, never even pitched myself for, but because I email certain people in PR, excuse me, they then is like, yeah, no, girl, you have like not that many following, you cannot go to this, you know. My camera stopped. I don't even know where it stopped because I think that means I already hit my 30-minute recording time. So I'm going to end this video very soon. My last point. So basically, yeah, a lot of fashion shows that I never even heard of, pitched to, but because I pitched to PR agencies and that's something, they're not going to be emailing you back saying, yep, got it. Some might, but most 95% won't. Unless you are a big name creator and you are on their radar. So I get invited to these shows because they work for PR agencies that represent multiple brands, and they might be like, yeah, girl, you're way too small to be going to this Laquan Smith show. This is for the big wigs. This is for the people with like much larger platform. But we have this other show for designer who not a lot of people know. They're a contemporary brand. They're great, but they're not really, you know, popular in the sphere of people who are not really into like fashion. They may have never heard about these people, or some of them are emerging and new designers showing their designs for Fashion Week. So it's like, yeah, you can't go to Laquan Smith, that's for the big dogs. But here are three other fashion shows that you can go to, and some of them, what I love is that they are fashion shows that have multiple designers, because they're like new and emerging designers. Some are international, some are US based. A lot of them actually are international. So you go, you get invited, and it's 3 shows in one. So you get there, and then all of a sudden, you watch one fashion show that was great. Don't you go nowhere, because there's another one. Don't you go nowhere, there's another one. And then sometimes there's a part B another day with 3 other emerging designers. And then boom, from you emailing about one fashion show that they did not invite you to, you now just saw 6. And they're new brands that you never heard of, your audience probably never heard of, so they're very interesting. You're like, wow, there's some shows that blew me away, and I have never heard of these designers, and a lot of them are not even American based. They were like Asian, or yeah, a lot of them have been like Asian, some European brands that I just never heard of. And then, you know, I look them up because I tag them on social media because I'm doing my job and sharing about them, and I'm like, wow, these are amazing. Out of my price range, yes, but amazing. So yeah, this video is getting a little too long, so I think I'm going to end here. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions about anything I said, if you want me to elaborate, if you have any other questions, like you're like, okay, great, I know how to write this email, I know how to find the people, but what do I do when I get to Fashion Week. Because some other ideas for videos, if it's I guess beneficial to you, I was thinking like, okay, how to navigate New York Fashion Week as a small creator, because there's a lot of things that you may not know that would be either draining financially or just emotionally, spiritually, and just energetically. So like the do's and don'ts, how to navigate that as a small creator if you're coming by yourself versus, or if you're coming with a group. How to network, maybe you're not that good at like socializing, you want to know like some tips and tricks that I have done that have worked for me. What else? Some lessons from New York Fashion Week. I could get into that. Maybe New York Fashion Week on a budget, because it can get really expensive. It can. But there's ways you can maybe do it on a budget. So I can offer some advice for that. And maybe some New York Fashion Week style lookbooks. So like maybe I'll search the internets of, you're like, what am I going to wear? I'll search the internets for some key pieces or things to keep in mind when sourcing pieces and looks for Fashion Week, so that way when you step out, the photographers are going to be like, I want your picture. Take a picture, boom, you're in Vogue. Okay, maybe more helping just like that. But there's some small creators that right now they up in the catalogs for Bazaar and all them things because they stepped out. Or like how to network during New York Fashion Week, blah blah blah, things like that. So let me know if you have any interest in any of those things or anything else. I would do a follow-up video. I promise to not make it as chaotic as this one. I feel like I'm talking, rambling fast. Hopefully my points stuck and it makes sense. And yeah, I think I also have some old New York Fashion Week vlogs on my YouTube channel, so you can check that out. I also have some that never made it to YouTube, so I should probably upload those one day. It's like a, flashback. I don't know. But that's it for my video today. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or tips for me, okay? I'm still learning. Let me know. Oh, one last tip. Wow, how did I forget this? This is major. When writing the emails, honestly, this year, it got so much easier. You want to know why? ChatGPT. ChatGPT is free. Go to openai.chatgpt. Go on the internet. Matter of fact, you don't even have to do that. Do you have Google? Because I tried this out the other day on one email, and I was like, this is great. So Gmail has Bard, I think, is the AI tool. So when I went to my email, it said, hey, it has like a button that looks like a magic wand. And it's like, do you want us to help you write an email? So I'm like, yeah. Write an email, a pitch email to New York Fashion Week, whatever. They wrote me, I saw the example, and I said, this is great, but make it shorter, because I want it to be concise. They did that, and then I went in and tweaked it to myself so it could sound like me and not, seem like AI generated. But at least it was a good start. And that's going to shave off so much time for you. So if you are still like, okay, I know what you said to put in the emails, how to do it, but I'm still stuck, please use AI, but don't just copy and paste AI. Don't do that, because people could tell, and even if they can't, like, that's not helping you really, because you're not going to stand out. Have them start the email from you, and then you go in and revise it in your own tone, and just make it your own. But at least you now have like the bones of the email, and now you're just filling in the meat. That's one of the best tips out there right now, and that just came, that's just for this year. So now I'm done with this video. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you in my next video. And again, if you like my gold-filled jewelry, CocoMadeWithLove.com. I really haven't been wearing this one a lot lately, this triple thread, and I definitely want to pull it out. Come on, focus. Definitely want to pull it out more. So yeah, that's it. Okay, have a great day. Bye.